You're going to take notes in the standard form section of your foldable on page 8. We're going to start by taking notes in the section above that, the blank section above that. Copy down 3x plus 4y equals 12. We're going to solve for y, so we're going to write this in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So we have to isolate the y. We have to get y by itself. So you're going to start with what's furthest away from y. The 12 is already in the correct space because it's on the other side of the equal sign. I want to move this 3x over, and I want to move the 4 over. But I'm going to start by moving the 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x on each side. Then I copy 4y equals 12 minus 3x. I can't actually subtract those because they're not like terms, so I'm going to copy, starting with the x term. I'm going to copy down negative 3x. And the 12 is positive, so it's going to be plus 12. Next, I'm going to isolate the y by getting rid of this 4. So I'm going to divide everything by 4. So that would be y equals negative 3 over 4 x plus 3. And that is my equation in slope-intercept form. Now I want to write this in standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So for standard form, the x and the y have to be on the same side. And your constant, which is the number that doesn't have a variable, has to be on the other side. So I'm going to start by moving the x back over to the side where the y was. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it back over to the other side with the y. So if it was negative here, when I move it over, I'm going to add 3 over 4x. So when I move it, it's going to be a positive 3 over 4x. So I'll just bring down the y. It will be a plus y equals, since I moved that over, it's not up there anymore. So the only thing I have left on this side is a positive 3. So all I did was move this over, and I made it a positive since it was a negative. Then I copied down the y, and I copied down the 3. So standard form, I can't have any fractions, so I need to get rid of that 3 over 4. So that's actually pretty easy. All I do is take the denominator, which is 4, and I'm going to multiply everything by 4, the whole equation by 4. So 4 times 3 over 4 is very easy. It cancels out every time. That's the whole point of us multiplying by the denominator, because it will cancel out and it will just leave you with your numerator. So my numerator is 3. Keep the x. 4 times y is 4y. And 3 times 4 is 12. So that's my equation in standard form. So my equation in slope-intercept form is here. Trying to highlight it. And here's my equation in standard form. Notice it's what we started with. I'm trying to show you that your equations, you can go back and forth. If you start with standard form, you can write it in point-slope form. If you start in slope-intercept form, slope-intercept form, you can write it back into standard form. You can always go back and forth. Now let's look at some of the examples. Example A, if you want to write this in standard form, first the x and the y have to be on the same side. So you're going to take this and move it over. When you move it over, because it's a negative 2 over 5, it will be a positive 2 over 5x. And you're going to copy the y, plus y equals negative 3. Now the only thing you have to do is get rid of the fraction. So this time my denominator is 5. I multiply everything by 5. So that will cancel. My equation will be 2x plus 5y equals negative 15. You're going to do this one tomorrow as a warm-up. Okay, copy the 3 steps. Step 1 is cover the y term and solve for x. Step 2 is cover the x term and solve for y. Step 3 is plot both intercepts and connect. So this is for graphing using the x and y intercepts. So if you have an equation that's in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, you don't have to change the forms. You can go straight from standard form and then graph using the intercepts. So these steps are how you would do that. So you cover up the y term and solve for x. So if I was to cover my x, cover up my y term, I would have 2x equals 12. And then if I solved, I would get x equals 6. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the y. If I cover up my x term, I will have negative 6y equals 12. Then I would divide by 6, negative 6, and y would be negative 2. So I would graph both of those. On the y-axis, I go to negative 2. On the x-axis, I go to positive 6. And then I draw a line through those points. And that's how you graph using intercepts. You're going to do this one in class as a warm-up. And that's it.